first map in Game 1, and Border was map in Game 2, but now between Liquid and BootKamp. Remind you that Clubhouse and Villa are both banned out this time around, so you cannot use them in this first play day. However, we might see more of it, as should be showing up as soon as possible to get into our matchup here. Let me see. Clubhouse Villa removed. Consulate Oregon Coastline Bank. Well, that leaves us with Border. Guess what? We're going to play on Border again.
Surprise. It is
100% pick rate so far.
Definitely not a surprise,
all right,
to be honest. We won't see a whole lot of Border tomorrow, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that'll be completely banned out as we head into theirs. Now it's pretty much an impossibility to have it in the matchups. We'll head right into game, as believe we have gotten in. Border started. Buck is the first ban as we finish up the flyby. So just in case this is not shown at the end of it.
Yeah, it should. You guys should catch up here in just a moment. But they are still going for that second ban here. What will it be? Dokkaebi, there we go. They don't want any phone calls.
I think they learned it very, very well.
Do not disturb. They are definitely not looking for that. So that is two operators we saw quite a bit of last match on Border that are not going to be in play here. But that means Glass is on the board, and that is a risky move with the current version of Glass. As we know, Glass is played a little bit in Latin America. Just a few times.
There's a few power players in each region. A couple players that are just so exceptionally good in each region that you just have to ban it here. Vigil's going to be removed, as BootKamp might be afraid of Liquid roaming around him. Possible plays from Nesk. Valkyrie's been a big operator that he usually will be playing on for the defense, and not too surprising, Mira will be banned for the second time out of the 3 in our matchups today. First time we see Vigil banned, first time for Dokkaebi as well.
Yeah, this has been a little bit more interesting. The Buck ban is especially the oddest of the picks. Like something like Bandit made a lot more sense, I suppose. But banning the Buck has got to be a case of either a particular player that they don't want to deal with on Buck, or just a particular strategy that they want to use that Buck is the weakness for. You saw the last minute switch there from Intact to Thermite. Thankfully, this time around, Thermite not banned. So we are finally going to see a Thermite. Mira, we did see at least one of the matches last match. So some switch ups back and forth. Surprisingly, no one banning Habana. That Thermite, though, is going to go in favor of Lion. And we are Maestro as well.
No Echo. I'm surprised there's no Maestro Echo plus Smoke. But Maestro is a pretty good operator. We'll finally get to see him played in Latin America.
Yep.
I am a big fan of the op and what he brings to the table. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Yes, but he definitely has a lot of strength. And I wonder if Zig is going to be bringing the ACOG. Yes, he will. With 81 rounds in the magazine of the Alda, that Ameli can shoot very, very fast. So you have to be very careful. He's bringing even the Bailiff 410. So that's basically your Judge shotgun secondary, where you can use that to basically open up holes, set up any defense. You can use it to open the holes in the floorboard.
We've seen people open hatches with it in the North American matches as well. And it is something that I think is, when you give someone an ACOG and an LMG and give them the ability to open up their own sight lines quite easily with their pistol, that's not a great combo for the attackers.
Yes, they have to deal with that. Now, you saw a reinforced wall in the office CCTV. That's basically to prevent any fire to go through the hall. And this is a bit of an oddity here.
We'll see how well that can see through if we get to see on the camera, but
it's possible that grenades might just take it out.
Yeah, there's definitely, although it looks like they're using some of their lifelines already downstairs to get in here. This is an interesting approach in terms of attacking this way instead of forcing your way upstairs first. But they are definitely trying to take bottom-up control here from BootKamp, as they do not want to deal with any roamers later. They also have Mute and a Bandit, something for a lot of denial, yet they didn't reinforce the armory wall. That is an odd choice to bring two denial operators like that and not even utilize them there. Counting instead on this Evil Eye to get some angles.
And of course, with the Evil Eyes, you can just shock the drones if they come on in, and that's why you want to have them close up as well. Though you have to be careful with the shock drone. The only way to take out the Evil Eye is either with explosives or there you go. The lifeline will be thrown in. There we go. That should be the death, the end of the Evil Eye.
It has been closed.
It has been closed up. That's for sure. No optometrist needed.
There's Reed coming. Either way, speaking of which, a lot of sight lines being opened up by these guys, trying to fight these angles. They're not really reinforcing as much as they are just opening, which is an interesting set of plays here so far that it hasn't actually worked out for the attackers just yet, as no one's died, and it's been a minute and a half. So it seems like whatever they're trying to do on their approach is not working just yet. They've cleared out a lot of the bottom floor, but they're mostly shooting at the ceiling and not accomplishing a whole lot from it. I bet they wish they had that buck.
Yep, that's why, you know, there's always the contention of who's better, Sledge or the buck. Well,
in this case,
when you want to play more of a vertical play style, well, you know what? Buck definitely helps you quite a bit. As of yet, we do not have the ability to throw the sledgehammer.
Throwing laser hammer is coming.
Yes.
It's been confirmed, right?
Oh, there you go. The Bandit's been spotted on the side, but no, Lebzord will go down. But Intact will just run in on the Lion. Znesk at least gets one. PSK with the refrag on Intact, as BootKamp now left with only 3 versus the 4-team Liquid. And Maestro, the force multiplier, that is that GIS operator in the back, the mute denying all the drones. Of course, PSK on the smoke. I'm not sure how many canisters he still has, but one thing's for sure, Team Liquid will contest every inch of this hallway if Duds is not looking out for them. And this is why they reinforced both walls. So much in the sightline denied.
Yeah, it is definitely working out in their favor, because you see BootKamp just funneled through all the angles that they want them to, as well as the openings that they have. But that C4, definitely brutal on Pala.
Yeah, Sexy Kid getting the kill on here, as PSK is standing around waiting for the Zofia to come in, but Zig is ready from the back here in the lockers, and he just sprays in.
Oh.
When you've got so many bullets, you just, you know,
you don't even have to reload that gun.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous.
Yep. It's like the joke we used to make in the past when Ellis still had 50 rounds in the magazine.
Yeah, but this is 80. This is like nearly double as many bullets too, and an ACOG on it to boot.
Imagine if you could put an ACOG on the CZ.
I try not to, because that is a waking nightmare. I will avoid that.
Imagine all the people. I mean, you can definitely make songs with these kinds of you know. Honestly, this is the one thing that Rainbow Six has not had just yet. Is
plenty of art, but not enough songs.
Yes, a lot of art, and you know, it is a very beautiful art. That's for sure. Every time you scroll through, you see things retweeted and posted. Just a lot of talent assigned to Rainbow Six.
Look at that, a 6th pick from Jaeger to Jaeger. No one would anticipate that.
What a trick!
The mind games got debated. Well, they did win lockers, so they are going to have to go down to another bomb site, but Customs, as we said, even on the strongest teams, has been entry denied time and time again. So, I don't know. I mean, if anyone's going to pull it off, though, it might be Liquid here. I could see it working for them. But you saw, even when this wasn't the bomb site, this is where you saw BootKamp enter last round. So we'll see if it works out. It doesn't surprise me to see Zig being the one on Maestro. He's always kind of the intel operator, whether it be Pulse or IQ. He's just the guy, or Echo even. He's the guy who will play the extra intel. Surprisingly, they're not playing an Echo alongside the Maestro. Is so strong in combination that it does feel like a little bit of a waste. I mean, I love Legion, but in this case, I would take Echo over Legion.
I very much agree with you. I see why you would run the Legion, because he's a great operator. T5 is pretty good. You get impacts and you get, well, Gumans. But the thing is here, it might not be the best of picks when you have the Echo that has shown how strong he can be, even without a Maestro. Add a Maestro to it. It becomes so much stronger. We talked about the force multiplier of Maestro. Well, Echo has always been that, even when he had 1 yokai. Give him 2, that is a force exponential.
Well, that's why you see Maestro banned so often, but not banning him or Echo, just, again, like, it leaves a situation where, obviously, I mean, I would say that Liquid just possibly was more prepared with their strategies to deal with playing with Maestro with Echo banned, potentially. Nice attempt with the Evil Eye there. Not sure if he caught that drone, but that is definitely a satisfying thing to do, is kill those drones as they try and get good intel, because all they're going to find out is that there's an Evil Eye there, which they were going to find out anyways. It's
very odd that it's set up in the open area, though.
Yeah. Well, either way, they definitely have a plan for it. You either set those up to be able to give you intel, or you set them up to be able to deny Habana or Thermite. In this case, Thermite is not banned for once, but he's not being played this round. So that is interesting. Last round, he was also attempted to be played and 6th picked out. So, ooh, nice catch there. Didn't have to sledge it manually.
All right.
Ooh.
At least the M King here will get the kill. It's one Sexy Cake removed from play.
It's a good pick. Sexy Kick is definitely a strong fragger.
Yep. Usually when Sexy Cake is running high, then you'll see him sitting in a very odd position at land. But catching off
Duck
the
hunt
drones.
over here.
Yeah. Very smart positioning on the Evil Eye. This is why it's been set there by Zig, because you're not expecting it in an open area, and you can catch so many drones coming in from the passport entry. So Nest can just focus on the hatches, but the Maestro is more than enough on the Evil Eye to pretty much shut down one of the two angles that you can push into the site.
Yeah, so far Maestro's been doing quite well in terms of utility. Zig is a good player when it comes to playing passive when he needs to and aggressive when he needs to, and I think it's a good choice. However, Nesk falls too. That is two of the strongest fraggers down, and now Zig's going to have to show up as a fragger here because there goes Duds taking down PSK1.
Now Bullet trying to play in the back here with the Legion. I'll spot from up. That's the diffuser carrier that's now down on the floor. That might just be a huge kill because 18 seconds left on the clock. Zig will get one. Bullet with one more with a T5, leaving it into a 2v2. Somehow this turns to the advantage of Team Liquid as they rush into Bullet, pulling out the pistol. The diffuser, where is it? Did they even pick it up? 5 seconds left on the clock. Zig coming around from the back. The diffuser now picked up. Lion getting shot from the back. He'll go in for the 1v1. Diffuser's been set, but Zig will turn it around. The Bailiff, 5 rounds left in the mag as he'll try to go for the reload. Unfortunately, the only rounds he needed were not available. Palu with the last shots. The SMG-11 will get the round done for BootKamp.
That was definitely a close one. The first time we're having to see him actually reload. Unfortunately, it takes about a half an hour to reload that gun. So that is not the situation to be in. He probably should have pulled out the pistol at that point and tried to make it work. But either way, it was a very close attempt at a clutch there from Bullet. And you saw Bullet actually run out of bullets as well at the same time. So both deaths, the failed clutch due to reloads. Oddly enough, right after we're talking about the 10 million rounds you get in Maestro's gun, somehow not enough for Zig.
It's that high rate of fire.
It is, yeah. It is basically magic at this point.
You get 3 kills off of it. There's a certain point, and you got to stop.
There's the echo, but it's coming out from Zig, so it's not going to be going with the Maestro. So, interesting choice there.
Yeah, it's not like Echo hasn't been a super strong operator.
No,
so.
but I mean, play it with the Maestro, right? Well, either way. That is 1 round each for each team, though. This is are we going to see another quote-unquote upset tie? It's starting to head that direction. We'll see.
At least this deviates from the pattern where the historically stronger team starts off with a 2-0, and then the other team will bring it back, and then it turns to a 3-2.
Yeah, we saw that the last 2 matches, where it was 2 attack wins in a row at the beginning. So, you know, Zig, surprisingly, as I said, not the top fragger, but with 3 kills, 2 assists, and only 1 death. Definitely made up for it a bit the last round. So, like I said, stepping up when his top fraggers die. Oddly enough, Sexy and Nesk down at the bottom. So maybe they are still waiting for their caffeine to kick in?
This is actually a thing. A lot of people will load up on caffeine before their match.
I know I do. Well, we'll see. As this team is not sponsored by Monster, like
EG?
Yeah. So maybe they have to pay for their own energy drinks.
No, Team Liquid are sponsored by Monster.
Are they?
Yes.
Well, that's fantastic. They need to get on that then.
I have the jersey. I can.
That is the one thing I don't
Thank you, Rafa.
Caster is the sponsorships. I have a lot of homework to do apparently.
Yeah.
Or a lot of jerseys to buy. One of
a lot of jerseys to buy. Or you can ask Rafa for one.
Beg for my clothes. That's what I want to do.
You always exchange the jerseys after land.
I'll just give him one of my T-shirts. Here's my sweaty T-shirt from casting. Can I have one of yours? Sexy, though, making up for the last round with a nice kill into the Lion to start out with, who may not have even used 1 EE, 1D yet. That is what you want to do, especially with Dokkaebi banned. That is a lot of annoying things not going to happen from global operators here.
Well, at least the default camera in the hallway is going to get taken down here.
That's really the important part.
That is the most important of it. At least Duds is focused on CCTV. Though he needs Paolo to push in from the other end. They need to block. But you see how much utility has been used by Team Liquid to go for the defense on there?
Yeah.
Honestly, that is a style of defense on CCTV that you rarely ever see, even though it's a huge part of the defense because you know how much it can delay your opponents or even net you kills off of it. I'm surprised nobody's really done it before now.
Yeah, we'll see if it ends up working out, though. I mean, they did not win the last defensive round, and that was fairly close. So we'll see if they can pull it off this time on custom. I mean, it's an interesting choice to go with yet again here. Because, I mean, it was a close round, and I could see why they would play it again just because they thought, well, we could have almost won that. But, again, with the win rate of customs being nearly 0, I question the wisdom of this when Vents is still available to them as an option. Although this is the second round, they can go back to lockers after this. But we'll see if this round works out or not. If not, then they could be at a round deficit early on for a team like this. Nesk, though, again, making up for last round. Bullet's still doing fine on this one as well, as it's down to a 2v5 now in Liquid's favor.
Paolo unable to get the close kill, even though he couldn't really see what was behind. Somehow comes around a Sexy Cake, getting the frag on the Jaeger. That's now 2 left alive. They'll spot 1 on the transition. The back, very close sight lines that Palu has access to. However, the 2 yokais definitely make things a lot more difficult. Just can barely see anything here with the distortion effect, and Bullet will land the last 2 kills with the T5. Liquid, a very clean round.
Well, definitely effective choosing the Echo there. I wouldn't say necessarily over the Maestro because we saw Zig effective with both operators, so either one would have been fine. But the change-up seemed to work that round, and they finally did win customs, and very easily in terms of manpower. So, I mean, I guess that hurts a little bit of my what I'm saying about customs, but overall still fairly low win rate. Now that they can go back to lockers, of course they will. Not wanting to play ventilation at all, which surprises me because it is a good bomb site, especially with a team like Liquid, the way they play. I feel like it would be a strong bomb site for them. But nonetheless, we still may see it happen as there's 1 round left. Echo 6 pick here.
There you go. I'll stick to the Maestro instead of the Echo.
He's going to trick them, though, into thinking there's an Echo. What will they do now? Unfortunately, they cannot 6th pick recruit. I've tried.
A lot of people actually were asking the question. This is the thing. The fact that 6th pick is not in ranked play,
yeah,
not everybody's sure exactly how it works.
Just so everyone knows, you can try it out in custom.
Yes. And honestly, nowadays, a lot of people are much less afraid of playing custom games against friends or even trying out in a lot of the community tournaments or in Go4s or even the standard ladders because hey, there's so many people that put, you know, hey, I play Rainbow Six competitively. How do I get into the top tier? How do I get into Challenger League or play some of the online leagues that are available? Well, that's the start. Start playing with your team on ladders and community cups. Start playing with them in custom games. Just get scrims ready because you learn so much about the game. It gives you a completely different perspective. And hey, if you have the opportunity to get together at LAN and play, hey, at your friend's place or somewhere, Rainbow Six Siege allows you to do it. Not many games have this nowadays. You can play with local server hosting and feel what the game is like on LAN. We always talk about, oh, it's so different. Once you try it, you can never go back.
Not to mention there is BYOC tournaments now. Something that didn't exist before. Now you can BYOC
DreamHacks
to DreamHacks, and that is a big difference. And we finally even had one in North America, so that was pretty exciting to give North Americans a chance at a LAN, which is something that Europeans have had a lot more, as well as Latin Americans have had a lot more of. So we'll see. Interesting that they're going with the same defense in terms of the Maestro Evil Eye upstairs with that hole, because Duds made short work of it last time, and I imagine it's going to do the same thing again. So this seems like, oh, you're wasting 1 out of 4 lifelines for 1 out of your 2 Evil Eyes? I don't call that an even trade, and I question the strategy here behind that. I'm not sure what you're really accomplishing. I mean, that's an expensive resource. When
he couldn't find the angle. He couldn't find the angle.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure if they're using it in a way where you can have the destruction in front of it. Maybe it's just server-sided, I'm not too sure, but there, the 2 kills will go the way of Team Liquid as they lose the Jaeger, but you know what? They get the Twitch and the Lion.
Absolutely.
Huge frags for Liquid.
So far, Intact on Lion has not been effective in terms of getting killed kind of early, and that has definitely been hurting the team because that is increasing Liquid's mobility quite a bit. Because with their ability to move around, they're able to reposition in angles that, you know, if you didn't drone it right then, you wouldn't necessarily know where they're at, and that works out in their favor. And Mute Jammer's doing some work as well, helping out with that. That would help make the Lion a little less effective, but overall it doesn't make a ton of difference compared to like something like Dokkaebi that makes more difference on. Ooh, the ADS doing its job though. Killing Jaeger doesn't kill his ADSs.
Now remember that Hibana cannot burn ADSs anymore. That was something for the past. No longer the case. I think it very much is a big improvement when it comes to professional play.
Yep.
But they still have to deal with that evil eye. That's not an easy thing to deal with when you're run out of utility because you couldn't hit it with the first lifeline. I'm not sure
well,
why.
Sledge can run up and hit it. Let's see that. Come on. Show us your sub power, pal. Go up and hit that. Now he's coming around from the other side, but surprisingly he's looked quite a while. He's playing a little more passive, but he's doing a good job getting a kill.
What a flick here from Paul. He'll get 1 kill, but then he'll get refragged immediately with the MP7 and the Mac 11 there. The last one will go the way of Nesk, and that's the 2 shots on the Bandit. Let's get the final headshot.
I gotta say though, I think Pal has been doing a pretty good job. I've been kind of keeping track of whether or not he's dying early, things like that. It's more the veteran players on the team that are not lasting as long, so I can see why they're considering bringing him in, as he's been doing a fairly good job on at least living. You see him playing that Sledge operator and kind of playing a little more cautiously than some of the other operators and not dying as early, which is great. I mean, we don't know what the communication is like, but overall I think it's been a decent debut for him so far, as it is at least somewhat close though. Is this Thermite going to get 6 picks, or are we going to finally see a Thermite for the first time today, as it was banned the last 2 matches, and was 6 picked off the first time they went to play it?
For Vents, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, with Team Liquid, the way that they set up the armory wall, is it always going to be a soft wall to play around? No. Okay. With the Echo pick, it very much signifies a you know, a bit more of a turtle style.
Wall, yeah.
With a hard wall, but there's no castle, which has been a very strong operator to play there instead of the Valkyrie, but I can see why Liquid will bring it. There's always so many reasons to bring an operator or another. It's just you can't have all of them, that's for sure. So,
yeah,
gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful. Can't have them all. But either way, Vents for the first time here for Liquid. We have not seen them defend this yet, but they are at a huge point advantage. So far, this has broken the mold in terms of what we've seen earlier today. In the first 5 rounds, the previous 2 matches, attackers won 3 out of the 5. So far, we have now 3 out of the 5, or 3 out of the 4 rather, being won by Liquid. So at least breaking the mold in a lot of ways. Surprisingly, though, no glass. So despite it not being banned, I imagine teams might be practicing having no glass and not incorporating in the strategy as much, just like with no Mira, where a lot of teams are practicing no Mira. But that is something where you don't necessarily have to practice having Mira because it's been so well established. Whereas practicing glass in the new meta might be more of a thing because of his fire rate, something you take advantage of. But either way, none of the teams bringing it just yet. And as we said earlier, this is the first Thermite as well. So they have Thermite and Hibana for double hard breaches, which I would imagine works in their favor, along with the double soft breaches of both Duds and Pala on Zofia and Sledge, respectively.
One thing we've seen quite a bit of today is a lot of Supernova play.
Yeah, it's been interesting outside of APAC to see that. Pala, ooh, nice job. Taking down Bullet early again, which is good because Bullet has been showing up late round a lot.
Got a bullet with your name on it.
Oh no! The missed fall.
Oh my god!
Unfortunate.
This is like the drop on Tower where you're in Oregon and you just have to live with it.
Well,
oh no.
50 HP is better than no HP. He's gonna have to take it. That's assuming they can pick him up. Lion's actually gonna make that even harder. The denial on the pickup here. He is gonna get picked up, but that is gonna get both of them spotted by Lion.
Well, the kill will come in from PSK. At least Paulo will go down. No more Sledge, so the grenades have been removed from play. PSK trying to find the close angle, but M-King is ready for him. And he'll nail the headshot, take him out. They can use the hatch, though, still with the Echo drones to spot who's playing below, as Zig will return with his Yokai, try and help out Nesk in the defense above. You've talked about how important the armory and the offices are for the defense, but this is why you bring the thermite, because you just want to deal with the reinforced walls so you can push into the site. However, Nesk, with the help of the Echo above, will get the kill on M-King. We're at a minute 4, and there's already 2 deaths on each team, and the site is open wide for the attackers. Welcome to Latin America, ladies and gentlemen. Everything works much, much faster than everywhere else. Sexy Cake, just moving on the ground, trying to find angle from the bathroom. Potential entry, Zig from above. This is the conga line downstairs to the balcony as the site will be full for This is Sexy Cake, what? What is that? One tap, the headshot onto Lebzord. He'll go down, but Sexy Cake barely alive with 30 seconds left on the clock. Diffuser's been picked up by Duds as he rotates back on the site, but is it even safe to move in through here? It is intact. We'll get the kill on Nesk. Sexy Cake low on health. Remember, Zig, where is your yokai? It's too far away. It's too far away. Sexy Cake might actually do this. No, he cannot. But now the flash perfectly thrown up in the face of Zig. Lion is on the floor. Lion on the floor here. Try to move in. He'll get spotted. No. Taken down. Can't spot Duds lying on the floor. And Sexy Cake with barely any health. The wall is unreinforced, and they hear him behind it. He has no C4 to spray with it. The Lion will go down. The flick from Sexy Cake. Is he ready for the last one? Goes in, trying to play the Zofia, but Duds is ready. And the M762 will prevail. Sexy Cake going down to the floor. Very valiant effort from Team Liquid. But BootKamp effectively bringing the round home.
Well, that was definitely a good effort from Sexy Cake, despite dropping through that big goof through the hatch. Still made up for it with some great flicks, some great shots, and I think had a very good chance at clutching that out, despite how badly that went down and the lack of those Echo drones to be able to help later on. But either way, now they have to switch sides last defensive round. They still won the majority of them, though, and that brings it to a 3-2 in Liquid's favor. Still could definitely trend towards a tie here, the way things have been going.
Yep.
We are going to start in lockers, of course. None of the teams wanting to go down. Capital fake out to Glaz. Now things get interesting.
Yes.
All right.
If you thought Glaz was scary before, oh boy.
Oh yeah, no one's really shown it yet so far, but the fire rate, it's like a machine gun sniper rifle.
It is huge considering how strong those 7.62 rounds are from the OTS. Yes, you got to be very careful, and not only that, Glaz packs the PMM. Yeah, you could say that the Deagle is great, pistol to have. No.
No, the
PMM literally out-damages most DMRs.
Yeah, it's
insane.
I think it's something that was kind of something that wasn't really touched heavily on until recently, and has really become something we've seen quite a bit of in terms of indoor play. Something we talked about, like originally Glaz was someone that was not very effective indoors. They made a lot of buffs and changes. His ability to see through smoke, various things like that made him more viable indoors. But overall, like, the pistol has become a great extra utility in terms of the PMM being very effective, like you said. And I think that's something that factors in even more, given some of the pistol play we saw earlier today from Optus, for example. Imagine if he was on the PMM. Although we'll see if Glaz works out here. They don't have an extra smoke operator, I don't think. So it may be the case where he just has to smoke for himself because Dokkaebi was banned, and they are not bringing Jackal. In fact, I don't think we've seen any Jackal yet today, which is actually a little surprising. That I mean, I guess it's not a big pick for Border, but nonetheless, it can be fairly useful in terms of tracking down a lot of the roamers. But I guess overall, when you can safely do that from outside with a phone call, might as well.
Oh, Sig will move in. We'll see which angle he'll be playing here, whether he'll be brought in to contest CCTV or to just a very standard contestation from the armory.
They're at least droning carefully here, but some late ADSs there trying to protect the Bandit. They don't have a Thatcher, so this is going to come down to either the Zofia or the Ash hitting it from below, potentially, which looks like is going to be Zofia's job on Bullet.
That's why he's droning in, just to make sure there's nobody to contest. And this is why nowadays, once you have the Bandit and you know that you're going to be trying to trick the armory wall, you have a Pulse or a Valkyrie, or in this case, possibly both the Valkyrie and the Ella contesting downstairs. And we might just see the Ash and the Zofia coming in to help in that.
That pre-fire.
Just to be sure, he moves in through the smoke. He'll spot the edge. The Bandit moving away from the half wall. Zig just still trying to find a pick in the round and really use and abuse the glass as much as possible. The wall has been opened, however, and they'll spot the Echo drone. Nicely done. That's one yokai off the board as Lebzord is rotating the second one over to the offices to try and set up, get in the armory, denying any plant. Very good execution from Team Liquid. Already everything off the checkboard.
Yeah.
We've just done everything on the attack just yet. All it takes now is a quick push to plant.
The important thing is there's no one behind that half wall. And that's going to make this push a lot easier with that smoke.
Lifesword has to be very careful in the back with the Echo. As Zig moves in, he'll spot the shots on the side. He's not reloaded, unfortunately. He'll throw in a C4 as well from below. Will not connect. Moves in, tries to 1v1 the Bandit. Unfortunately, he can't really go for the hits, and Duds will out-damage him with the Ela. Unfortunately, Zig not able to do this. However, Diffuser is down on the floor. Perfect position if you're on the attacking side, and from behind, we'll see 3 kills coming in for Liquid. Sexy Kid coming in to clean up his opponents. Last one is Leipzord as he has to come back on the site. Bearing 9 in hand, he'll get spotted by Sexy Cake. You give Sexy Cake any operator, and it'll be someone to fear. And it seems like even the Lion is, what a shot, what a shot. Beautiful, bellissimo.
I love how we go from Zig just completely whiffing every shot and taking all the advantage off the board to, you know what, wait a minute, why don't we just come around from behind? And that's something that always baffles me, why you don't see two-sided pinches as often, because you see how effective it is. If you have someone like Glaz pushing that one side and you have someone like Sexy Cake or Bullet pushing from the other side, it's a pretty easy crunch, as you see there. And that overall, a very effective attack outside of Zig's play there from Liquid. Sexy Cake and Bullet just destroying them. And they have had a very good match so far between the two of them, except for the rounds where Bullet got taken out early. There's a 6-pick to Legion from Valkyrie. And then Lion from IQ.
I understand why BootKamp would do this. Because of how Sexy Cake played the Lion from behind, they're like, you know what? We can just run the Legion. Because now we can at least set a goo mine or something to protect us in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll see if that even pays out. They obviously have a lot of utility to be able to defend their back. They have, there's things like Valkyries, Echoes, other things to be able to see behind them. So it's a question of whether or not they're even paying attention to that Legion mine.
And to do that, they sacrifice a smoke, which on armored defense is an operator you kind of would like to have.
Yeah, I would take the smoke over the Ela in this case.
Yeah.
If you're gonna insist on that Legion, just because Ela is not someone that's bringing a lot of gadget utility. It's more just frag power, and that's only at certain ranges. I mean, it has gotten better at long range now. The recoil is a little bit better than it used to be. So a little less questionable, but overall, I still think as an operator, it's just, there's better frag power that they can bring. This
is part of the plan, I guess. We're going to set up with a bandit. Okay, banded wire.
Well, they definitely want to make that problematic for them.
There's Zofia.
Yeah, that seems to be just an easy way to take care of that stuff.
Because you can...
and Ash, too.
Yeah.
Although,
you can just shoot it on the floor. It would burn it for Ash. It wouldn't burn it for Zofia.
Yeah, that's right, because that is one semi-counter to Ash. Not to mention the... an ADS can also potentially stop it, but there's not one out there. So.
But it's still very possible that even with the Ash, you can shoot it right in front of the shield, and it would still blow it up. I'm not sure if it's set on the perfect angle where it doesn't allow the Ash charge to hit it.
Well, I don't think this shield's going to be a big problem, let's be honest.
No, I think it's just a lot of utility. I want to see how it's played. I want to believe in it. I want to believe in the shield,
I guess,
but I don't see it.
They have the extra battery. They don't want a bandit trick. Want something else to do with it besides charge their phones, so they're just going to go with let's electrify a shield.
I don't think you should charge your phone off a car battery.
Well, you know what? Dokubi's not in play, so it's fine. Okay, it works in Siege World. But either way, another slow start here. It took a while last time as well. We saw. Is he seeing someone right there?
Now he's just opening up the angle just in case there's somebody playing in the office. Seems like Sexy Kick is heading to the same position as he was before. Hey, I'm just going to try and hit you from the back.
Taking advantage of his drum mag as well. Open up a lot of angles.
That's a 308.
Hey, what happened to the shield?
I wonder what.
Oh.
Here we go. They'll catch one off. Do they know that there's still a second one that's hiding behind the half wall? Well, now they do. Damage done, but the top M King just peeks in and sprays right in. Finds the head of Zig through the smoke. Well, at least they'll down the bandit, but Intact is still in the back. M King trying to save his teammate. They'll have to cross before that smoke dissipates.
So far, Zig with a 0% success rate on that glass. Bullet, however, at least makes up for it with the kill onto Duds. That's going to help because that is the roamer off the board. So once they try and get this plant down, they can hold it a lot more effectively, but they are down a man.
Well, they have to rely on Sexy Cake, who has rotated back. They need him on the front lines instead of playing from the backside. So having the Legion in this position where you have Legion, Echo, 30 seconds left, you know what? It somehow turns out to their favor. Goo mines, however, have already been expended as, you know, you hit the 30-second mark. That's pretty much all of your goo that's been produced, I guess, because that's how it works.
He milks himself. Well, Lion definitely getting some good utility out here as Sexy Cake setting up for the push. 10 seconds left.
And that's the kill coming in from the Zofia. The quick rush in as M King will get the at least one frag on Bullet as he jumps right into the desk area. He'll try to hit the back, but no, the diffuser will still hit the floor. 2 kills, though, will go at the end, and that'll be the round for Intact. BootKamp bringing it back 3-4. That was that was a bit of an odd spray, but it did work out at the end for BootKamp on the defense. Team Liquid almost clawing it back there.
Definitely, Zig was playing fantastic on the defense, but I think his glass play is leaving a lot to be desired there. I mean, when they won, it was more despite what he did than because of it. Other than, I guess, being a distraction for the flank from Archives, so far it's just not been effective in terms of the push in. You see, you know, they might as well just throw smoke with any other operator that has smoke at this point, just for the amount of its damage it's doing. He didn't really clear the half wall. He wasn't successfully hitting anyone that's crossing between the half wall and the bomb. It's just the lack of reflexes we're seeing is making it kind of worthless to play that kind of operator other than Scare Factor because he's not using the high fire rate that we were just talking about. Tachanka,
he'll forever remain a meme. He'll be the 6th pick. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
There we go, Zig.
There you go.
Go the other direction this time.
Castle being picked finally in Vents, which makes a lot of sense. Capital finally played. It's a pretty signature operator for Zig. He was early adopter, so pretty darn good operator on it. I have to say, Zig's Maestro is very impressive.
Yeah.
So I wish we had more rounds.
Yeah, I wish he could go back to defense anyways. We'll see how Pala does it, though. I mean,
yeah, it gives us an opportunity to compare. And you were mentioning Pala is the player that they're bringing in here as the sub, just to try him out. And looking at the game today so far, it's been pretty darn effective. Yeah. Not sure if it'd be better than Seiya. You know, it's to try. Yeah. That's for sure. But I want to see what he has in mind when it comes to the Evil Eye setups from Maestro. And there you see a bit more of a standard way of setting up the Evil Eyes. This one will be placed in the back of Archives, a bit of a elevation, which makes sense. Pretty much makes it invulnerable to any fire or explosives. However, the one that's set up here on the half wall is a bit more direct. You might just see grenades or utility in general, especially with a Zofia on Team Liquid's side running the way there to try and blow it up.
I love how you say standard as if there's a meta with Maestro already.
I mean,
it's textbook Maestro.
I don't know. I've been playing Maestro for 24 years. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true. That's true. Been living the life. You've been placing so many Evil Eyes around your houses.
My houses.
Well, I assume you lived in more than one house.
Actually,
not actually at the same time. I don't think you're that rich.
No, that's for sure.
We'll see how this Capital goes, though, as his Glaz play. I mean, at least he's still got smokes on Capital. But again, setting up for potential flanks here from Sexy Cake, pushing around for the other side. They hopefully will take CCTV as they have. Now, it's taken a long time to get set up for these pushes every time. They did bring a Thermite this time, which should be interesting from PSK1, but they've got to get rid of the Bandit batteries first to be able to make this work. And they have that Evil Eye sitting there watching the door now, and that is going to make it so Zig has an even harder job because, yeah, he could pop the smoke, but now they can see through it and he can't.
Oh no, that's
So
not
an advantage.
That's not the perfect smoke puff that you'd like. You can still see the head.
Yep.
You have to crouch in it and basically play blind. But PSK will at least be set up to open up the wall, and it will connect. So open it up, and that is the first part of the checklist done. Palu, there's none of the two Evil Eyes is set on the site downstairs in ventilation.
Nope.
But it's so difficult to contend with that Evil Eye position that even bringing in drones is a bit of a difficult thing to do because, you know, we've got Maestro and Echo being played together. Yeah, so we've been hyping it up, and you know what?
They better win.
They better win this one because Maestro is very strong on his own. You bring the Echo means that you can dedicate the Maestro to play off-site or on it, in this case off of it, playing upstairs in the armory, and the Echo will just focus a lot more on catching any roamer off guard. And well, you see the 2 kills coming in from Team Liquid, or you might have seen them. BootKamp trying to take this one back as they lose out the 2 players. All they're left with is their anchors.
He couldn't see it from that angle.
There we go. He'll be able to take it out. Palu
No.
still trying to play around. Unfortunately, both angles held by Team Liquid. Duds rotating around, though the second angle cannot be held. Not enough manpower for BootKamp. At the end of it, last man alive is Leipzord on the Echo. We'll have to play with the Bearing 9 with only a couple mags left to land 1 headshot, so that's 1 removed. But you know what? There's 4 left on Team Liquid. And to live up to their name, they're just going to squirm around, and you see the last kill going in the way of the Zofia. The ACOG bullet catching the head of the Echo on the other side of the workshop.
Unfortunate. Funny how much that came down to angles. Just lack of angles of view, lack of angles of fire, all worked out in Liquid's favor, just barely. Situations where Maestro and Echo were just rendered ineffective because he did manage to get the stun after he readjusted, but Maestro wasn't able to get the angle with his ACOG LMG. And now we are on match and map point. Could we see a tie still?
There you go.
There you go.
That's the question. Will it turn into a tie? Because we've seen it twice now.
Yeah, it's definitely possible here, but they have to come back 2 rounds in a row. And that's the best they could do now. Something we mentioned earlier is once you hit the 5 mark, best you could do is a tie. So we'll see. There's a last minute switch there from Ash to Thatcher. And then Valk to question mark. We'll see. Still deciding, and that makes me wonder if they're debating. Nope, he's going to stick with it.
So there you go. They're going to stick with the Valkyrie. Valkyrie on border is pretty good.
Yeah, and not necessarily.
Border, Consulate, 2 maps that are extremely strong for Valkyrie. Valkyrie Chalet was one of them. Unfortunately, it's no longer in play. So, rest in peace.
Rip. Yeah. Well, we'll see it a lot on Consulate as well, I'm sure, because that's still in the map pool. But I wonder if he was debating on whether or not to switch to Maestro again.
Yep, yep. Or even the Echo. Yeah, exactly.
They have neither now. And I mean, the only downside of those 2 operators being played is that's 2 people sitting on their phones in sight, potentially. Which would have worked last time had they had the angles that worked out for them. It just came down to Liquid just happened to be the right places at the right times. And then some whiffed shots, fortunately not working out. I mean, Echo made a good effort of it at the end. But alas, he had to fight too much manpower advantage. And that's the thing is, if you have 2 people sitting on your phones, you really depend on the rest of your team to play well. And that is a lot of coverage for CCTV in terms of cameras. That's 2 in there. They really want to hold CCTV, at least from an intel perspective.
I'm surprised we haven't seen much IQ as well.
Yeah.
Not when it comes to actually smarts, like smart plays, but like the operator IQ.
Yeah, they even started to pick it one time and then switched over to the line on Liquid. So again, we're seeing a lot of... There's certain operators that I've noticed are very tread-heavy towards 6 picks. Pulse Castle, for example. Those 2 are switched between each other. We've seen Echo Maestro a few times as well. There just seems to be certain operators that are always maybes.
And Latin America definitely still sticking to a tried-and-true Lion.
Well, Liquid won with it, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm referring to Atlantic City.
That's very true. There have been major changes to Lion that have made him a lot more balanced in pretty much everybody's eyes. So, you know, that's something. But
that's something.
He's still very strong. He just the ability is just really, really strong. So you still see some teams relying on him, but you don't want to be giving away too much. As remember, LAN is the end goal.
Yeah.
There's so many around, you gotta always keep on your toes. Well, at least very quickly, the armory window, or the armory wall will be opened up.
I like the castle on the metal door to stop that flank from there, but the flank I think mostly came from archives last time. Still, you still need someone holding strong on that back, but at least that's going to help some of the flank not happen on them.
Even the wall is reinforced between archives and armory.
Yeah.
Bit of an oddity.
So far, minute left pretty much. And while they started to get control of this room, no one's died just yet. They're managing to fall back just far enough to stay alive, which is good for the defense here.
Bullet taking a lot of damage. He's trying to engage downstairs. Unfortunately, he has to deal with the Ela. And you know, we talk about the sister rivalry. Unfortunately, up close, it's Ela that definitely has the huge advantage. And you see even in the stock room, right to our right side, if Bullet inches his way just a bit forward, he can go down. But you know what? M-King will find the headshot, as BootKamp are not giving up just yet. 35 seconds left on the clock. He'll hear here. Can hear the movement behind the wall as it'll propagate through the open hole. 2 kills here. 1-to-1 trade between Liquid and LaFleury, though, going the way of BootKamp. Running in will be Nesk to get 1 kill, but he's the last man alive. 15 seconds left on the clock, and the diffuser nowhere to be found outside in the main lobby. He's got to run towards it and possibly face the full might of BootKamp. They just spray into it, and Nesk, what is that shot? Gets the headshot, unfortunately not enough. You'll see the UMP, the castle, coming around at the last second. Very quick ADS, of course, on the angle grip. It'll find the head, and Nesk will fall to the floor.
Well, a nice attempt, but now we actually are 1 round again from a potential tie here. Surprising to see Liquid just not playing as strong here on the attack as they had been on the defense. I mean, they still could win the same number of rounds, but letting it get to the wire like this, it's been very, very back and forth. They are going back to lockers, though. Now, they've lost both sites the first time they played them, or attacked them, rather. They lost attacking lockers the first time. Or, I mean, it's the second time. Sorry, I'm thinking of the defense. But it's been very back and forth between both of the bomb sites. Now they can go back to lockers, which I think defense might be able to pull off here. Although switching to Ying should make things interesting here. That is definitely going to throw them off, as they are going to be expecting that Ashe to be playing typical Ashe. And they're not going to be defending as heavily against a Ying push. This is where Echo's really going to have to be effective in terms of helping hold that room against that. And Zig on the glass again, we'll see if that works this time. Maybe in combination with the Ying this time. That'll work. Shock and awe. We'll see, though.
All right. Well, as you mentioned, we're back on Armory Archives. And, you know, we were talking about this at the start, since this is the 3rd time we see a border tonight. Maybe a 4th, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Question mark for the 4th match.
Maybe it's the 6th pick. You know, it's just a question mark. We're waiting for later on. But it definitely is a possibility. And we've been talking about how, there might just be a lot of switch around to go from one side of the armory, and then the next one time from the armory wall, and then the second time from the office as well. Seems like everybody just wants to push the armory wall at this point.
Yeah, which is that didn't used to be the meta. We saw a lot.
Thermite's not banned.
Yeah.
How is this? How is nobody switching to the other side? I don't understand. Liquid spot all of this. They have the Thermite. They have the Zofia. Now they bring Ying. The thing is, Ying works on both sides, but you can make it work very easily if you push in from the offices as well, especially with BootKamp just setting up so much of their reinforcements on the other side.
Not to mention, maybe Zig would be more effective in a room where he doesn't have to try and fight in such close quarters as he pushes in. Either way, though, it looks like there are quite a few people outside of offices, so they could actually be hearing you here.
Yep. Finally, listen to the expert. I know you won land, but come on.
Yeah, what do you know? Well, either way, they are definitely prepared for it here. At least they're guarding against that east stairwell push. But it doesn't look like they've figured out exactly how they want to push this yet, because they are still split up pretty significantly. They could just go for having Thermite open up the wall to trick them into thinking that they're going to push from the locker side first. But they are definitely setting up Zig here for the crossfire. This is maybe going to be more effective for him to be playing on the ventilation AC thing instead of actually playing in the close quarters where he needs to move around and whiffs his shots.
Well, Sexy Cake just using the E1D to his advantage. He pushes him from the back. Bullet will get one, and that's the second for Neska. Unfortunately, the third even going for Bullet with the Zofia. Suddenly, we turn into a 2v4, and the Glaz is still alive. Dud's low on health as well, holding the hallway all on his own. The Ella is low on health in the back, and the diffuser's already been set, and wow, that is the fastest execute I have ever seen. Liquid, they set up for 1 minute, and then bam, all turns on, goes on into the site, and they take this finally. 6-4, Team Liquid, the reigning Pro League champions, with their first victory and the first non-tie that we have so far in Latin America.
Our first winners.
Look at that, 12, 11, 12. All the kills were going the way of Team Liquid. However, that was, even with all the kills going their way, they almost tied.
Yeah, that was very close. I mean, that just goes to show just some smart play coming from BootKamp in terms of playing time and things like that to be able to actually, you know, despite not having.
They were fairly impressive. They're playing against the they're playing against the Pro League champions.
They've had quite a bit of experience to get to this point, though. This is not a brand new team, and I think they've shown growth over time. I mean, we talked about Team 1 before, which was kind of the rival for a while, showing a lot of growth over time, how Team 1 have kind of gotten better and gotten better and gotten better, which, of course, we will see again soon here as the next match. But BootKamp seemed to have grown a bit as well.